Stop running in circles. Work smart, not just hard. I'll never forget that night. It was a chilly evening in Denver, and I was sitting at my kitchen table, staring at a cold plate of leftovers and a bank account with $120 left. I'd worked 10 hours that day, like most days, juggling my job as a school administrator and side gigs to keep the bills paid. I was exhausted, but worse, I was stuck. I'd always believed that if I just worked harder, success would come. But there I was, feeling like I was running a race with no finish line. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you, you're not alone, and this video is for you. Growing up in the Midwest, I was raised on the idea that hard work is the answer. My parents worked long hours, my dad at the factory, my mom at the diner, and they taught me, keep your head down and you'll get there. But after years of grinding, I realized, hard work isn't enough if you're on the wrong road. That's the first secret to wealth. It's not about how much you do, but where you're headed. Let me share a story about Susan, a 53-year-old teacher from Nashville. Susan was the queen of hustle, grading papers late, tutoring on weekends, even driving for a rideshare app. But her savings never grew, and she was too tired to enjoy her life. One day, at a local book club during the town's fall festival, she overheard parents talking about needing help with college applications for their kids. Susan was great at writing. She'd helped her own daughter craft essays that landed scholarships. She offered a small workshop at the community center, charging $50 per family. Word spread, and soon she was booked every weekend. Now she runs an online coaching business, earning more in a few hours than she did in a week of tutoring. Susan didn't work harder. She worked smarter. She stopped asking, "How can I do more?" and started asking, "What can I do that matters?" Wealth isn't about filling your days with tasks. It's about choosing the ones that move you forward. Think about your own life. Maybe you're a mechanic who's great at fixing cars. Could you teach a car maintenance class at the local auto shop? Or maybe you're a whiz at organizing. Could you help small businesses streamline their offices for the holiday rush? The key is to find where your skills meet a need. Here's a simple step to start. At the next community event, maybe a 4th of July picnic or a church fundraiser, listen to what people are struggling with. Jot down 3 things you're good at, like cooking, fixing tech, or planning events. Then list 3 problems you've noticed, like neighbors needing quick meal prep or seniors struggling with smartphones. Find the overlap and test it. Maybe offer a small service at the next farmer's market. Susan started with one workshop. You might start with a $20 consultation. Wealth begins when you stop running in circles and start running toward value. This isn't about quitting your job or chasing big dreams right away. It's about small shifts. Next time you're at a Labor Day barbecue, strike up a conversation. Maybe someone needs help with taxes or gardening tips. Offer to solve their problem for a small fee. It's not about working harder, it's about working right. That's the quiet path to a richer life. Use your head, not just your hands. For years, I thought effort was everything. In my 40s, I was managing a small catering business in Seattle, doing everything myself, cooking, delivering, even scrubbing pots at midnight. I prided myself on my work ethic, but my bank account didn't reflect it. I was using my hands, not my head. That's the second secret. Wealth comes from thinking strategically, not just working tirelessly. Let me tell you about Tom, a 48-year-old construction worker from Phoenix. Tom worked grueling hours, taking every job he could, building decks, fixing roofs, even driving for deliveries after hours. But after a decade, he was still renting, with no savings to show for it. One day, at a community barbecue during Memorial Day weekend, he overheard a neighbor complaining about finding reliable handymen for small jobs. Tom realized he could focus on quick, high-demand fixes, like patching drywall or installing ceiling fans, instead of big projects. He posted an ad on Nextdoor, offering same-day service for small repairs. Within a month, he was booked solid, charging $75 per job and working half the hours for double the income. Tom's shift wasn't about working more, it was about thinking more. He asked, "How can I do this better?" instead of, "How can I do this faster?" Wealthy people don't just trade time for money. They use their brains to find shortcuts, tools, systems, or ideas that amplify their efforts. Maybe you're a teacher. Could you create a digital workbook for students and sell it online? Or a nurse. Could you consult for local clinics on patient care systems? The question is, how can your skills work smarter? Try this. Look at your daily tasks. Is there a way to streamline them? If you're a graphic designer, maybe use templates to cut design time in half. If you're a gardener, invest in a tool that saves hours on weeding. I started using a scheduling app for my catering business, freeing up hours to focus on marketing. At the next county fair, notice what tools or services others are using. Maybe a local baker uses an app to automate orders. Ask them about it. Or join a small business workshop during Small Business Saturday to learn one new trick. Wealth grows when you use your head to make your hands more effective. This mindset saved me. I stopped cooking every dish myself and partnered with a local prep kitchen, letting me take bigger orders. I wasn't working harder. I was thinking smarter. You can too. Next time you're at a community event, like a back-to-school fair, ask yourself, what's one thing I could do differently to save time or earn more? A small idea, like automating emails or outsourcing deliveries, can change everything. Wealth isn't about muscle, it's about mind. Make your money move. Build assets, not just income. I used to think a bigger paycheck was the answer. When I got a raise at my job, I'd celebrate. A new phone, a weekend getaway, maybe a nicer car. But by my 50s, I realized my mistake. My income was growing, but my wealth wasn't. That's the third secret. Wealth isn't about earning more. It's about turning earnings into assets that work for you. Let me tell you about Linda, a 55-year-old librarian from Charlotte. Linda's salary was modest, but she was diligent, saving $200 a month in a bank account. At a local book fair, she met a financial advisor who suggested she put that money into a low-cost index fund instead. Linda was hesitant. Investing felt risky, but she started with $1,000. 5 years later, her investments were generating $500 a month in dividends, enough to cover her utilities. She also rented out her spare room during the city's annual music festival, adding another $300 monthly. Linda wasn't earning more, she was making her money work. Assets are things that grow or generate income over time, like investments, rental properties, or digital products. Expenses, like new clothes or fancy dinners, vanish the moment you buy them. The trap is lifestyle inflation, earning more but spending more, leaving nothing to build wealth. I fell into it, upgrading my car when I got a raise, only to realize I was still broke at the end of the month. The secret is to prioritize assets over expenses. Here's how to start. Look at your budget. Maybe you spend $100 a month on coffee or subscriptions. Redirect 20% of that, 20 to an asset. It could be a savings account for emergencies, a stock fund, or a small online course to learn a new skill. At the next community event, like a Thanksgiving food drive, talk to someone who's invested before. Ask what they started with. I began by putting $50 a month into a robo-advisor, which grew into a $10,000 nest egg over 5 years. Or try a side hustle, like selling a digital guide to your hobby on Etsy. Linda's spare room became an asset during festival season. Your garage could be one during the holidays. The key is to make your money move. Think of it like planting seeds. Small amounts today grow into harvests tomorrow. At the next farmer's market, notice what vendors are selling consistently. Maybe it's homemade jams or craft kits. You could start with $100 to create a small product. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and grow. Start small, but start now, and let your money become your ally. Break the fear barrier. Act now, perfect later. There's one thing that kept me stuck for years. Fear. Fear of failing, of losing money, of looking foolish. I'd wait for the right time to start a business, learn a skill, or invest. But the right time never came, and I was left with regrets. The final secret is this: wealth doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who act, even when they're scared. Let me tell you about David, a 60-year-old retiree from Atlanta. After retiring from his accounting job, David wanted to start a financial coaching business, but was terrified. No one would take a nobody seriously, he thought. At a local senior center's spring fair, he overheard retirees worrying about managing their pensions. David decided to act, offering a free talk on budgeting for fixed incomes. It was messy. Handwritten slides, a borrowed projector, but 30 people showed up. That talk led to paid workshops, and now David earns $2,000 a month sharing his knowledge, all because he didn't wait to be perfect. Fear is the gatekeeper's bar of wealth. We're taught to play it safe, stick to the stable job, don't risk the savings, don't try new things. But safety can be a trap. The real risk is standing still while the world moves on. Technology changes, markets shift, and skills age. If you don't act, you're not safe. You're stuck. The wealthy don't avoid risk. They manage it. They start small, test ideas, and learn from mistakes. Here's a simple way to break through. Pick one thing you've been putting off, maybe starting a blog, selling crafts, or learning about investments. Test it this week. Post a $10 service on a local Facebook group, like resume editing or garden planning, or sign up for a free online course during Black Friday sales. I started my catering business with a single pop-up at a community picnic, burnt cupcakes and all. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Imagine this. It's a crisp autumn night at a hometown football game, the crowd cheering under the Friday night lights. You're there, feeling alive, knowing you took a small step, a workshop, a side hustle, an investment that's building your wealth. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be first. Share one action. You'll take this week in the comments. We'd love to cheer you on. If this video sparked something, hit like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Grow Rich Daily for more stories that guide you to a life rich in money, time, and meaning. Thank you for being here.